The first thing I notice is the sound of the door, a soft click. Not the slam I remember, but still, it makes my chest tighten. He stands there, older, smaller, hair gray where it used to be black. His suit doesn't fit right. His hands shake when he holds the folder. "Ethan," he says. My name trembles in his mouth like it doesn't belong there. I don't stand up. "You needed something, Mr. Jensen?" His eyes flicker. "So, you know who I am." I make it my job to remember people who owe me something, I say. My voice sounds calm, too calm. "Please sit." He hesitates, then lowers himself into the chair across from my desk. He doesn't meet my eyes. "I didn't expect this," he mutters. "Neither did I reply. The man who walked out, on a 14-year-old kid showing up in his office 13 years later? That's not something you plan for. He swallows hard. "You've done well for yourself." "Yeah," I say. "Some of us didn't have the luxury of quitting halfway." He shifts. "Ethan, I didn't come here to talk about the past." "Good," I say sharply, "because that's one topic I don't handle well." He opens the folder. Papers slide out, trembling between his fingers. "My company's in trouble. We need investors. I heard your firm handles restructuring." I lean back. "So you came to me for help?" He nods. "You're one of the best. I thought maybe—" I cut him off. "You thought maybe the kid you abandoned would forget?" He flinches. "It wasn't like that." "No?" I lean forward. "Then tell me, what was it like? Because from where I sat, it looked a lot like you walking out the front door while Mom begged you to stay." He grips the armrest. "I was scared. I couldn't handle the pressure. I thought leaving would make things easier." "For who?" I ask. "You? Because it sure as hell didn't make things easier for me." He sighs, shoulders sagging. "I didn't come to fight." "Then why come at all?" "Because I'm desperate," he admits. "My company's drowning. I've burned too many bridges. You're the only one who might listen." I stare at him for a long moment. The silence stretches, thick and heavy. I can hear the faint hum of the air conditioner. "You said might listen," I say finally. "You got that part right." He looks up, his voice small. "Ethan, I know I don't deserve forgiveness. I thought maybe you'd understand. We all make mistakes." I laugh, but it's empty. "You didn't make a mistake, Mark. You made a choice." His eyes widen at the name. I've never called him that before. He says quietly, "You used to call me Dad." "That was before I learned what that word means," I snap. "A dad doesn't walk away when things get hard." He rubs his face, tired. "I've lived with that guilt every day." "Good," I say coldly. "Then you know how I felt." He looks around my office. Polished desk, city view, the gold nameplate on the glass wall. "You built all this," he whispers. "Without me." "Exactly," I say. "Without you." He nods slowly. "Maybe I deserved that." I lean forward. "You did. But you don't get to rewrite history now because you're broke." "I'm not asking for pity," he says. "I just need a chance." "You had your chance 13 years ago." He flinches again. "Ethan, please, I wouldn't come if it wasn't life or death." "Whose life?" I ask softly. "Yours or mine?" He opens his mouth, but no words come out. Just silence. I stand. "You can leave your file. I'll review it." His eyes fill with something, hope, maybe. "So you'll help?" I look him dead in the eye. "I didn't say that." He lowers his gaze. "I thought time might have healed you." "It didn't," I whisper. "It just taught me how to hide the scars." He gathers the papers, his hands trembling. "You remind me of your mother," he says weakly. "She cried for months after you left," I reply. "You didn't remind me of anyone. You just disappeared." He opens his mouth again, but I lift my hand. "Don't." He stands, defeated. For a second, he looks like he might reach out, but he doesn't. He turns toward the door. The soft creak makes my chest tighten again. Mark, I say quietly. He pauses, his hand on the handle. You should have thought about doors, I say, voice steady, before you slammed one in my face. The door clicks shut. This time I don't flinch. You remember the night he left? Liam asks, tossing his coffee cup into the sink. I don't have to remember, I say. It lives in me. He studies me. How old were you? 14. The number tastes like metal. Mom cried for days, bills piled up. I got a job that week. Liam leans back. I'm sorry. You weren't there. My voice is flat. Sorry doesn't change things. I rub the desk edge. Memory. Mom at the table, paper slipping from her fingers. He closed the door so hard it cracked the frame, I tell him, like he wanted it to be final. Liam's voice softens. How did you get through school? Work. I shrug. Fast food, stocking shelves, late nights. I learned people leave when times get tight. I promised myself I wouldn't be weak. You built all this for yourself. That matters. It matters, I say. But it doesn't erase nights I listened for footsteps that never came. When Mark showed up, I had no idea who he was at first, Liam says. Then I saw the name. I froze. I saw his face and 12 years of anger ran like a film, I say. I let him sit in my office like a man asking for spare change. That's rough. He watches me. Ethan, don't let the past write your decisions. I already did, I say. I'm not making it personal. I'm making it public. Public? He looks up. Yeah. Expose him. The invoices, shell companies, bribed permits. Show the board what he did and they won't save him. You want revenge? I want justice, I correct. There's a line and I'm standing on it. He sighs. You think this will fix it? Watching him dragged and shamed? It won't fix me. I admit it. But watching him lose the mask will shut him up. It will tell the kid who waited that someone answered. Sometimes the answer isn't revenge, Liam says. Sometimes it's letting go. Letting go? After he left Mom with bills and a broken smile? I can't just let that go. You have a choice, he says. Use your power to build, not just to break. I laugh once, dry. Build? Doors matter. Do you remember that night after he left? Mom was sobbing. You made her tea. You told her you'd handle it. You were 14, Ethan. That promise is why you're here. I kept my promise, I say. To survive. Then keep another promise, he says. Don't let that kid die inside you. Don't become someone who lives for payback. I don't know if I can be someone else. My hands clench. Every time I see him, the boy comes back. The boy who thought doors were final. You can choose, Liam repeats. I can't stop you from exposing him. I can only say, think who you want to be when it's over. I remember Mom's voice that night. What will we do? She asked, small and broken. I'll work double shifts, I told her. I'll make sure the lights stay on. I won't let you sink. She reached for my face. You're my brave boy. I believed her, I say. That belief kept me sharp. Liam watches me, patient. You don't have to carry that alone anymore. Evidence only. The words settle. Method, not madness. I can help, Liam says. I know a compliance guy. We can pull records, map the shell companies, trace invoices. You're serious? I ask. Dead serious. I can make calls tonight. We keep it clean. No leaks, no theatrics. Good. I nod, feeling an odd heat. No dirty tricks. Promise, he says. He studies me. Do you ever think about forgiveness? Forgiveness is expensive, I say. I want results. Then we need witnesses. Employees who remember odd transfers. A timeline. I want names on paper. Good, Liam says. I can call a friend at the firm. We meet tonight at 8. Bring anything you have. I will, I say. See you then. Then let's do it right. He stands. I'll start tonight. Clean evidence, legal counsel. No drama. Legal counsel? I echo. Yes. Evidence that holds in court. If we want him gone, we do it so he cannot recover. I study him. You always were the steady one. He shrugs. Someone had to be. So, dinner tonight? For old time's sake. I'll think about it. My laugh is small. Don't tell Mom. Your secret's safe. He leaves. I sit. The past is heavy as a coat. I pull a photo from the drawer. Mom on the porch, hair frayed, eyes proud. I touch the corner. I press the photo to my chest tightly. Okay, I whisper. I'll make him pay. Not with blood, with shame. The conference room smelled like stale coffee and new carpet. Mark's hands fidgeted with the corner of a brochure as he spoke. Our projects are solid, he began. We just need infusions, partnerships, a bridge loan maybe. I watched his mouth and heard the 14-year-old boy beneath, the one who left a kitchen with a broken clock. You want my firm to bail you out, I said flatly. Sophie slid a file toward me. Ethan, his numbers look risky. Her voice was low. She knows me well enough to read the storm behind my eyes. Mark tried a smile that didn't reach his eyes. We have assets, just liquidity issues. Temporarily insolvent, I corrected. There's a difference, he blinked. Language is important, I said. Especially when I'm deciding whether to hand money to a man who walked out on his family. Sophie flinched. Mark winced like someone described a wound. Ethan, he said. I know what people say. Things happened. I made mistakes. Made mistakes, I echoed. You left a 14-year-old and his mother with debt and shame. Explain what kind of mistake looks like that, he swallowed. I was young. I thought leaving would fix things. It didn't. I tried to come back, but... You tried to come back? I laughed sharp. You didn't try. You vanished. Mark's jaw tightened. I thought I could rebuild and return with stability. I was wrong. You returned broken, I said. And now you want me to fix your empire, Sophie interrupted, practical. If there are discrepancies, we need audits. We need transparency, Mark nodded. Of course. Full audits. I'm willing to open books. Open books to whom? I asked. You? Me? The same people who let you leave? He looked at his hands. To anyone you trust. That's generous, I said. Too generous, Sophie whispered. You can stall him, get the info. We don't have to commit, I met Mark's eyes. For a second, there was recognition. Fear, maybe. If I agree to a partnership, there will be oversight. No favors, no hush deals, he nodded. Agreed. Whatever you require. After the meeting, Sophie closed the door. You okay? She asked. You looked like you wanted to strangle him. I wanted to ask him why, I said. But answers aren't what I want. Then what do you want? She asked, honest and kind. Closure? Justice, I said. I want the record to show what he did. Not because I'm petty, because people like him shouldn't rebuild on lies. Sophie tapped a pen. You could use Daniel Shaw. He's ruthless but loves public spectacles. He could pressure Mark into a corner. I was thinking the same. I named him quietly. Daniel's pride will make him maneuver aggressively. Sophie raised her eyebrows. That's dangerous, Ethan. Everything's dangerous, I said. But watch this. The man who abandoned me is crooked. If I feed Daniel the right crumbs, Daniel will dig. He won't stop until he finds rot, she sighed. You won't sleep. Probably not, I admitted. Tonight I meet Daniel. I won't tell him about Dad. I'll present numbers and let his ego do the rest. That night, Daniel's office smelled like new money. He smiled like a shark. Ethan, I don't usually do charity. This isn't charity, I said. It's business. He leaned forward. What's the play? A feeder, I explained. We show selective leaks, overinflated contracts, shell payments, suspect vendors. Daniel will go public or push for a takeover. Daniel's eyes gleamed. Expose him? I love a good fall. What's in it for me? Control of assets after he's disgraced, I said. You get market share. I get truth on record, he laughed. And your conscience? My conscience is stiff, I said. It prefers documents to drama. Daniel's fingers drummed. I'll mobilize. No half measures. We'll trace shell companies, subpoenas if needed. I felt a cold satisfaction. Good, make sure it's clean. No illegal traps, he smirked. I don't play dirty unless I must. When I left, city lights blurred. I imagine Mark's face at a boardroom table as headlines rolled. The boy who called him Dad sat up at night remembering how his mother wiped her face and told him to sleep. I gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles hurt. At home, I couldn't quiet the echo of his apology from earlier. I made mistakes, he'd said. The words sounded like a child's excuse. I poured whiskey and stared at the ice. Sophie's earlier voice nudged me. Justice, not revenge. But the line between them felt thin. I thought of the 14-year-old who promised his mother he'd keep the lights on. I kept that promise, I whispered. Tomorrow I'll keep another. Sleep didn't come. I mapped timelines and contacts in my head, each name a stepping stone toward exposing the man who'd closed our door. Do you have to keep closing my door? I ask before he can knock. Mark freezes. It's just habit, he says. It's a habit from when you left and never looked back, I reply. He sighs. Ethan, that was a long time ago. Time doesn't change how it felt, I say. It only teaches you to hide it. Sophie watches, arms folded. You're tense. I know, I admit. I keep imagining that slam. Liam sits across from my desk. You're turning this into theater. This isn't theater, I say. He left Mom with bills. He left me. Or you can take the legal route, Liam says. Don't make it personal. I want consequences, I say. Public, legal, irreversible, Sophie asks. What did the packet show? A trail, I say. Payments to shells, invoices that don't match projects, permits pushed through with favors. Bribery? She whispers. Likely, I confirm. Signed names, missing vendors. Liam leans in. Expose him cleanly. No theatrics. I won't enjoy it, I say. I'll watch because it's necessary. Are you sure this is for Mom or the boy who was left? Liam asks. I thought that boy was buried, I say. Turns out he sleeps under my suits. Mark limps in. Is this about me? Yes, I say. This is about you. He looks smaller. Ethan, I didn't know how to come back. Convenient, I say. You came back when you needed money. I wanted to rebuild, he says. I thought I could come back and make amends. Make amends? Mom missed graduations. I worked nights to pay the heat. You think a check fixes that? I live with that guilt, he says. Every day. Good, I say. Then you'll understand why I have to do this. Sophie places a hand on my arm. We can build the case. Liam has contacts. I'll coordinate documents. Numbers, witnesses, public record, I say. Facts, not stories. Smart, Liam says. Numbers don't lie. Mark tries to sound steady. I can repay. I can fund settlements. No, I cut him off. Redemption isn't for sale. So what's your plan? He asks. Expose forged invoices. Show regulators the permits. Make sure the record shows your choices. If you do that, my company falls, he says. Maybe it should, I reply. Maybe it deserves to, Sophie exhales. People will lose jobs. Those jobs were built on lies if the papers are true, I say. I can't prop up a house of cards, Liam warns. Be careful. The man you hate can become someone you helped ruin. It will be justice, I say, voice smaller. Not rage. Don't let his frailty trick you, Liam says. Seeing him small doesn't absolve him. I know, I say. I saw him last week, hollow. I felt pity I didn't expect. We're human, Sophie says. That doesn't mean you stop. No, I agree. It means I keep moving. He looks at Mark. You had a choice once. I chose poorly, Mark says. Then we'll make sure the records show it, I say. Mark studies the window. Do you want me to leave? Yes, I say. Leave for now. He nods and goes. The door clicks. I don't flinch, Sophie says. Tonight subpoenas. Liam's contact helps with compliance. Good, I say. Bring everything to my desk, Liam stands. And Ethan? Don't let this rot into your future. I won't, I say. But if the past knocks, I won't open the door. Then let's work, he says. We sit. The building hums. I breathe the city air. Tomorrow, I say. We set the cracks to show. Sophie nods. We'll make the mask fall. I touch the desk edge and think of the cracked frame. The thought burns steady. I let it burn. I remember Mom, she asked, where will we go? Why keep this inside? Sophie asks, tapping the folder. Proof matters, I say. Words don't cut it. Liam crouches by the cabinet. Names, dates, officials, you traced anything? 3 shell companies, 1 offshore vendor, a permit with a changed signature, I say. Sophie exhales. That's solid. Mark reappears in the doorway, quieter. Ethan, I never stopped thinking about you. Thinking didn't pay bills, I say. Did you call? Send money? No, he admits. I was ashamed. Shame kept you away, I reply. Silence kept you gone. If you expose me, my staff, he begins. They'll find work, I say. Those who hid crimes should answer. Sophie slides a folder to me. Start here. Transfers, dates, you map the timeline, Liam nods. I'll call compliance. Daniel might bite if we plant a breadcrumb. Careful, Sophie warns. He escalates. We keep it clean, I say. No leaks, Mark leaves. The door clicks. I don't flinch. I touch the desk edge and think of the cracked frame. The thought burns steady. It moves me. The boardroom smelled like power and panic. Screens glowed with charts. Mark sat across from me, smiling thinly, unaware the floor beneath him was already gone. Gentlemen, he began, voice shaking, our partnership will secure the next decade of growth. I cleared my throat. Before we continue, I have a presentation. He blinked. Now? Yes, I said. Now. Sophie dimmed the lights. The projector lit up. Slides filled the wall, names, payments, signatures. Every secret he'd buried. Mark frowned. What's this? I spoke evenly. Financial records from Jensen Construction. Forged invoices. Payments to ghost vendors. Permits approved with bribes. He turned pale. Ethan, stop. No, I said. Not this time. The room went quiet. I could hear someone's pen drop. I walked closer to the screen. Over $12 million misallocated in 3 years. Faked equipment costs, non-existent contracts. You built your company on lies. Mark stood, sweat collecting on his collar. You can't prove that. I already did. I clicked another slide. Emails, signatures, timestamps. You signed everyone. He looked around the table, searching for allies. None met his eyes. Ethan, he said, voice breaking. You don't understand. I understand perfectly, I cut him off. You took everything from us and thought the world would never see you for what you are. Enough. He slammed the table. You think this is justice? You're destroying me. You destroyed yourself, I said. I'm just showing the receipts. The CEO of the firm leaned back. Is this accurate? It's verified, Sophie said quietly. Cross-checked by compliance. Mark's hands trembled. You planned this. I met his gaze. From the day you walked back into my life. His lips trembled around my name. Ethan. Don't, I said. Don't use my name like you earned it. The CEO spoke again, cold. Mr. Jensen, effective immediately, all negotiations are terminated. Legal will review your records. Mark turned to me, panic rising. You set me up. No, I said. You set yourself up 13 years ago. Security entered quietly. One of them touched his shoulder. Sir, we need you to come with us. He jerked away. You think you're better than me? You think revenge makes you whole? I didn't answer. I just watched him crumble. His voice cracked. I loved your mother. She cried every night after you left, I said. That was your love. He looked like he might collapse, then whispered, You're just like me. I shook my head. No, I just learned from you what not to become. They escorted him out. The door closed. No one spoke. The CEO finally said, Impressive work, Ethan. Ruthless, but necessary. I nodded mechanically. Just doing my job. Sophie watched me, uneasy. I could feel her silence more than any applause. After the meeting, everyone congratulated me. Decisive leadership, they called it. Strategic brilliance. I smiled, said thanks, shook hands, but inside there was only static. When the office emptied, Sophie lingered. You okay? I should be, I said. He's finished, she tilted her head. That's not what I asked. I didn't answer. I just poured water I didn't drink and stared at my reflection in the glass wall. At 8, my phone rang. Unknown number, Ethan Cole? A woman's voice asked. Yes. This is Rachel Jensen, she said, her tone clipped and cold. Mark's wife, I leaned back. Didn't expect your call. You should have, she said. You humiliated him. I showed the truth. The truth ruined him, she said. He's packing whatever's left. I'm done. I won't stay with a man everyone spits on, I exhaled. He's getting what he earned, she laughed bitterly. You sound proud, shouldn't I be? You think this makes you different from him? She asked. He lied to survive. You lied to destroy! My jaw tightened. I didn't lie. Then you used truth as a weapon, she said. Either way, you cut deep. The line went quiet. She added softly, he's crying in the next room, you know. That proud man. Broken. Congratulations. The call ended. I set the phone down and stared at the city lights. Satisfaction should have felt like warmth. It didn't. It felt like ash. Hours later, the office was empty except for me. I sat at the table with a glass of whiskey, watching the ice melt. Sophie came in quietly. You're still here, she said. Seems so. She pulled a chair. I saw the news. The board's thrilled. Good for them. She studied me. You don't look thrilled. I got what I wanted, I said. The truth's out. He's finished. And yet, she said softly, you look hollow. I didn't deny it. She leaned forward. You destroyed him, Ethan. I had to. Maybe, she said. But what about you? Her words hit harder than any of Mark's. I looked down at my hands. They were steady, too steady. I don't know, I said finally. Maybe I broke something too. She reached out, resting her hand on mine. Then fix it before it's gone. I looked at her, searching for something human left in me. He used to slam doors, I whispered. Now he can't even open one. And you? She asked. I built walls, I said. Maybe that's worse, she stood. Go home, Ethan. Rest before there's nothing left to save. When she left, the room felt enormous. The whiskey burned down my throat. I stared at the dark window until my reflection looked like someone else. For the first time, I wondered if revenge wasn't justice, just another form of running away. But I couldn't stop now. Not yet. Not until every piece of him was gone. The knock was soft, almost hesitant. Come in, I said. Without looking up, the door creaked open, then clicked shut. That sound, the one I used to hate, didn't hit as hard this time. Ethan, he said quietly. Please don't send me away. I didn't look up. You shouldn't be here. I had nowhere else to go. You had choices, I said. You always did, he sighed. I know. I just wanted to talk. You talked plenty at the meeting, I said. Mostly lies, he didn't respond. The silence pressed between us. I didn't come for business, he said at last. I came to apologize. Apologies are currency you can't afford, I muttered. He took a step closer. I deserve that. But please, just listen, I looked up. His suit was wrinkled, his eyes sunken, his voice trembling. The proud man from before was gone. You look different, I said. I haven't slept, he admitted. I can't stop thinking about what I did to you. To her. Her name was Mom, I said. Say it. His throat tightened. Clara. Good, I said. At least you remember. He rubbed his hands together, desperate. I didn't know how to be a father, Ethan. I tried, but I failed before I even began. I stood up. You didn't fail. You quit, he flinched. You're right. I quit everything. I ran when I should have stayed. Why now, I asked. Why come crawling back after I tore down everything you built? Because I needed to see the man you became, he said softly. And to say sorry while I still can. I laughed, bitter and low. You think words fix years? No, he said. I just need you to know I see what I did. Do you? I asked. Do you see the nights I worked while Mom cried? Do you see the kid who grew up waiting for a door that never opened? He looked down. Yes. And I see the man I created. The one who hates me, maybe even hates himself for it. That hit harder than I wanted. Don't pretend you know me, he shook his head. I don't, but I recognize the look in your eyes. It's the same one I had when I realized I'd ruined everything. I stepped closer. You don't get to compare us. I'm not, he said. I'm just saying, I know what guilt feels like, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. My voice softened despite myself. You think guilt makes you human? It's all that's left of me, he whispered. I looked at him, really looked. His hands trembled, his voice cracked. There was no arrogance left, just a man scared of his own reflection. I thought revenge would feel good, I admitted. I thought watching you fall would fix me. Did it? He asked. I shook my head. No, it just made the silence louder. He nodded slowly. Because revenge doesn't close doors. It just locks them on both sides. I stared at the window. The city blurred through the glass. You know, for years I wanted to hear you say you were sorry. I imagined it 1,000 times. But standing here now, it doesn't matter, he swallowed hard. Then why am I still here? Because you need this, I said. Not me, he gave a broken smile. Maybe you're right. But thank you for letting me say it. I nodded toward the door. You can go, he didn't move. Can you forgive me? I hesitated. The words hung heavy. No, I said finally. Not because I hate you. Because forgiveness means I stop feeling, and I'm not ready for that. Tears welled in his eyes. I understand, he turned to leave. His hand lingered on the handle. I meant it, he said quietly. I didn't know how to be a father. For the first time, I heard truth in his voice. Not pride, not excuses, just raw human fear. I know, I said. He opened the door. The light from the hallway cut across the floor. Goodbye, Ethan. Goodbye, Mark. He stepped out and closed the door gently. No echo this time. No slam. I stood there waiting for that old sting in my chest, but it didn't come. Just quiet. Sophie poked her head in a few minutes later. He came back, didn't he? Yeah, you okay? I think so, she studied me. You look lighter. Maybe I am, she smiled faintly. He didn't slam it this time, huh? No, I said. And maybe that's enough. When she left, I turned toward the closed door. The silence felt different now, soft, not sharp. I touched the edge of the desk, breathing out slowly. Maybe the sound had stopped because I didn't need it anymore, because for the first time since I was 14, I wasn't waiting for it. The train hummed beneath me as I headed home. I hadn't been back in months. When I stepped onto the porch, Mom was already waiting at the door. Ethan, she said, eyes wet. You look tired. I'm fine, I said, though my voice cracked. She hugged me tighter than I remembered. You're shaking, she whispered. I'm okay. She didn't let go. You never were good at lying to me, I smiled faintly. Guess I learned that from you. We sat at the kitchen table. The same faded wallpaper. The same ticking clock. Tell me what happened, she said softly. I hesitated. He came back, Mom. Her eyes widened. Mark? Yeah. I looked at my hands. He was ruined. I made sure of it. She drew a breath. Ethan? I didn't hurt him. I just told the truth, she nodded slowly. And what did that truth give you? Closure, I said, then shook my head. At least I thought it would. Her voice was gentle. Did it feel good? For a moment, I said. Then it felt empty. Like I'd won nothing worth keeping. She reached across the table. You've carried that pain too long. It turned into armor. I needed armor, I said. He left us with nothing. And now? She asked. I have everything. And it still feels like nothing. Her eyes softened. Because revenge doesn't build, Ethan. It only burns. I looked at her. You're not angry I exposed him? No, she said. I'm sad it cost you your peace. I swallowed hard. He said he didn't know how to be a father. She blinked back tears. He didn't, but you... She paused. You knew how to survive. That's harder, I nodded. He wanted forgiveness. Did you give it? No, I whispered. But I think I understood him. She smiled faintly. That's enough. I looked around the kitchen, the old door frame, the worn tile. Everything feels smaller. You grew, she said. The house didn't. I stood and kissed her forehead. Thank you, Mom. For what? For holding on when he didn't, she smiled. Someone had to keep the light on. I laughed quietly. You always did, she touched my cheek. Are you done fighting ghosts? I didn't answer right away. Almost. Later that afternoon, I drove out to Mark's old house. The gate was rusted. The lawn was overgrown. The windows were dark. I stepped onto the porch. The same cracked door waited for me. The one he'd slammed the night he left. The crack was still there, a jagged line like an old scar. I ran my hand over it. The wood was cold. You took everything, I whispered. And somehow I still became something. A gust of wind brushed against my face. The house creaked as if exhaling. I remembered being 14, shouting through that door, begging him to stay. I remembered Mom's sobs, the empty room, the silence that followed. And then I remembered his last words. I didn't know how to be a father. I took a step back. Maybe you didn't, I said softly. But I learned how to be more than what you left behind. I stared at the cracked frame one last time. I'm done, I whispered. The wind stilled. The world went quiet. For years, I'd imagined hearing that door slam again, imagined the echo that followed me through every success. Every night I couldn't sleep, but now standing there, I realized silence could sound like peace. I turned and walked toward my car. The gravel crunched beneath my shoes, steady and slow. When I reached the gate, I looked back once. The door hung there, still and calm. I didn't need to hear it close. This time, when I walked away, I didn't need to close the door behind me.